Hello, I'm Mark Ainley from Sense of Space Contemporary Feng Shui. Welcome to another episode where we explore the relationship between your home and your life. Today, I'm going to talk about mirrors. Now, your mirrors literally reflect your self-image. You can't see yourself without them. And so the condition, the size of your mirrors has an impact quite literally on how you see yourself physically. And then it's going to have an impact on how you see yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in terms of your overall self-image as well. And so there are a few hints that we can apply to make sure that our mirrors are giving us the best possible self-image. The first thing that's really important to check with your mirrors is the height. They need to be high enough so that you can see your whole head and above. If your mirrors are cutting you at the forehead or below, that means you need to stoop down to be able to see yourself. And if you see yourself in this stooping posture, then you're looking like you don't have confidence. And you start to see yourself as lacking in confidence, and that starts to become part of your internal self-image as well. So set your mirrors high enough so that there's enough clearance above your head so that you can see yourself fully. Additionally, if anybody else lives with you or you invite people to your home, you want your mirrors to be high enough for them as well, because they all want to be welcomed. So make sure that your mirrors are going to be set at a comfortable height for anybody who is in your home or you're planning to welcome into your home. In terms of the width of the mirror, if it's too narrow, you might feel that you can't really fit in, and just like you brought yourself down from the short mirror, you might feel that you need to shrink and contract your energy and bring yourself in to fit into the mirror. What that can start to reflect to you is a lack of confidence in a different way. You might think that you take up too much space, or you might start to develop a negative body image because you see yourself not fitting in and you see yourself as looking too big to fit in. So I suggest that your mirror, just like it should be a little bit taller than you, should be wider than you so that you can see yourself comfortably fitting in, and then your internal self-image becomes one in which you think that you can fit in with others and in the outside world. As regards the size of the mirrors, I think it's really important that you see more than your head. You should really see your torso. For women, it's important to see the bust and above the head. But I prefer full-length mirrors. There are decorative mirrors that are very small. They're smaller even than your face. And I really don't suggest that you put those up on the wall. They cut you up, and I think that those can really create a much more challenging self-image even than one showing the whole head or that's too short for you. If you have some of these mirrors, just take them off the wall and you can place them horizontally and place a candle or some other decorative items on them, and you can use them that way. But your mirrors on the wall should absolutely show your torso and full head minimum, and ideally to your waist or your full body. If you have handheld mirrors or these small mirrors that you use when applying makeup or something like that, that's totally fine. Just don't have them up on the wall, and ideally you can either close the mirror or place them face down when you're not using them. Now, there are two locations in Feng Shui that are historically referred to as not being particularly ideal for the placement of mirrors. One of them is opposite the door, and there's a very simple reason for this. If you open up the door and your image is immediately reflected, you see some movement in front of you as soon as you enter your space, and you're not expecting to see anything. And so that movement can actually startle you as soon as you come home. And you don't want to set up a dynamic whereby your own natural movements startle you. So in the entrance, I would suggest having a mirror on the side, either on the left side or the right side as you open up the door, wherever works, rather than directly in front of the door. The other Feng Shui tale we hear about mirrors is that it's not ideal to have them in the bedroom. Now, in some cases, it's going to be unavoidable, but I'll explain a little bit why we shouldn't have them and what it is we can do if we do. In the bedroom, we want things to be as quiet as possible. And at nighttime, sometimes we move around a little bit, and the mirror can pick up that movement on the other side of the room where the mirror is located. And we might be startled because we might think that someone or something else is moving in the room. And so we don't want to create that dynamic whereby we're startling ourselves with some sudden natural movement in the middle of the night. If you do have a mirror in the bedroom, perhaps you can find a way to cover it up with a cloth or a beautiful scarf. If you have high mirrored closet doors, which is often the case, and it is the case in my home as well, you can just set up a curtain rod above the mirrored doors and close the curtains at night. Definitely keep them open during the daytime. You don't need to worry about them at all. And in fact, they enliven the space. Mirrors magnify and intensify energy, and that's a great thing during the daytime. Not so much at nighttime when you're trying to close down your sensory input so that you can have a relaxing sleep. The final hint I'll give about mirrors is to limit them as much as possible to one per room. And you don't actually need one per room, but that's the maximum number you should have. If you've got more than that, you might feel that you're quite self-conscious because you're always checking on yourself. Even as you walk by and you're not planning to, it's really difficult not to check out your own reflection in the mirror. This can lead to anything from self-consciousness to egotism. And so it's ideal that you really have a maximum of one per room. And in some cases, if it's not needed, you don't need a mirror. My final hint is to just keep your mirrors clean. You don't want anything to interfere with you having a clear, sparkling image of yourself. So clean them often, do your best to place them at the right height, to have them at the right width, and to place them on either side of the door if possible. And in the bedroom, if it's at all possible, if you need to have a mirror there, try to cover it up at night. I hope you found these hints to be useful. Believe me, they might seem really simple, but they make a big difference. I'm Mark Ainley from Sense of Space Contemporary Feng Shui. Subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time.